Hello, it's Karen Burniston here with an assembly video for one of our die sets. This is die number 1181, the Bayou animals, and you can check out all of our die designs at karenburniston.com. The Bayou animals is our 17th die in this series that features lots of small animals and characters. There are 11 pieces in the die set to be able to make the frog and the alligator and all those cute little accessories. So of those 11 dies, 7 of them are just straightforward die cutting. Just die cut them out of whatever colors you want and pop them out of the dies. But then the remaining 4 dies are meant to be used with the stencil emboss feature that's built into the die. There are 2 dies in the set that would typically be cut out of white, and those are the dies that will fill in the eyes of the animals, and in the case of the alligator, it also fills in the teeth. Any die cutting machine that can accommodate a wafer thin die will cut these dies. I'm using my little Dress My Craft Easy Cuts machine today because it is a small die set. So for these two, I generally don't emboss them, I just die cut and stencil. But if I did run them through with an embossing sandwich, it would actually raise those areas that I'm stenciling up a little higher, and sometimes that makes them easier to stencil. So depending on your pen, you may try embossing and stenciling if you find you don't get a good stencil by just die cutting and stenciling. For the final 2 dies, I really do like to use both an emboss and a stencil. So for that, I need to change out my machine to an embossing sandwich, and it depends on your machine. So some machines, the embossing parts just come with it. Other ones, you need to buy those accessories separately. Just go check YouTube and find out what you need to emboss a wafer thin die. It is a 2-step process, and you can either cut first and then emboss, or emboss first and then cut. I find with a new die, where the paper tends to just fall out of the die, it's easier to emboss first and then cut, because I can just set that die right back into those grooves again. Then I change out my sandwich, go back to my regular cutting sandwich, put the dies back in place, and run it through for the cutting. So what that 2-step process is going to do for the frog is it's going to raise up the spots that are on the legs, as well as raise up the mouth. And I'm still going to use it also as a stencil. I just like to do the 2-step on the frog. And the same thing with the little alligator belly, it just makes the little sections raised. My pen of choice for stenciling dies is a Staedtler Triplus fine liner, and it does come in lots of different colors. And I just find that that pen nib is just such a nice size to fit down into the small holes of the dies. But you could also sponge ink through the die if you're not into using pens. I'm using a red and a green pen on my frog. Okay, everything is die cut, stenciled, embossed, and now it's just time to assemble. My 2 indispensable assembly tools would be my LINECO neutral pH adhesive in my fine tip bottle, and then my QuickStik. So the QuickStik to pick things up, making it really easy. I'm putting that glue around the sockets of the frog, and then from the front I can kind of slide it until I get the expression that I want. And then one last little touch would be a white gel pen to just add a little catch light somewhere in the black circles. So just 2 pieces to make a frog, really easy. There is a lily pad die that comes in the set, and the frog is of course sized to fit perfectly on that lily pad. Now the flower that comes in the set can be used as its own little flower, or if you would like to make it resemble a lily, just take a green marker or some ink and just fill in the lower 4 petals of that flower, and then it's going to look like a lily. So then maybe attaching those flowers to the edge of the lily pad. Then for the alligator, it's the same piece that does the eyes and the teeth. And on the teeth, you can actually just pull them apart a little bit to separate them. I definitely recommend glue for attaching so that you can get around the mouth and around both eye sockets. But then also, working from the front, you can slide that piece around until you get the eyes perfectly in the center of the ovals, but then also have the mouth lined up with the opening. So definitely glue is helpful for that. If you've ever assembled any of our other animal sets that have bellies, you're going to be familiar with this process. You lift up the hands, you find the belly piece, putting the flat side on top, you just slide it underneath the hands until the flat part is underneath the chin. And then that's going to hold it in there pretty well, but I wouldn't rely on that being the only thing holding it together. I would definitely take your glue and just add a little spot of glue at the bottom somewhere to keep it there permanently. So when you're not making lilies, you do have a stem for the flower, and then just maybe putting a little rhinestone or something in the center can make it look more like a traditional flower. And then I particularly think it's cute when the little alligator or crocodile is holding the flower. The die set also includes a fly, so that's probably going to be used maybe flying up above the frog's head, but you could also attach it to the frog if you wanted to. And then the last assembly would be the cattails. So you've got the die that cuts the full cattail. I've cut that out of green. And then for the little cigar-shaped pieces that are called candle wicks, according to Google, those go on over the top to change the color. Now, just like with the frog, you may want to take a white gel pen and just add a little catch light to the black areas of the alligator's eyes. So this is kind of the bare minimum assembly, and you can see how cute they are. Now, if you want to spend a little bit more time to add some extra texture and dimension, you could put some ink around the edges. That probably would be better to do before everything is all assembled so that you don't accidentally ink into your eyes or your teeth or your flower, but just kind of showing how adding some ink around the edges can really increase the texture and dimension of the animal. So a blending brush or a blending foam and maybe some distress ink, that's my favorite. And there's just something about the little petite size of these animals that makes them extra cute. They're only about 1.5 inches tall. They do fit on our pop-up dies perfectly. So here's one using our little labels pop-up. And another nice thing is that you can use the accessory dies that come out of other animal sets with any of the other animals. So the little Santa hat that comes in our Christmas animal set fits on the alligator for this fun Merry Christmas Y'all card. Okay, let me leave you with some Bayou Animals inspiration by our very talented design team. Okay, absolutely adorable. Karen Aiken with a green polka dot alligator, including a pink belly. And that's just the front of the card. Wait until you see the inside. Inside she has the garden bench. The alligators are perched on the bench. Little flower in the mouth. I mean, just an adorable card. Now here's a little labels card by Frances Byrne, and you can see all the flies flying in the background. I love the hop hop hooray, such a cute greeting. On this card front by Fran Sabad, she's created an entire scene. I love the alligator holding the cattails, the frog is in the water, she mixed in the octopus from our ocean animals. Another card front idea from Fran, this time making a shaker card. So she's used our crosshatch labels to create an opening and filled it up, and then she's got all those cute little frogs on the front. A modified paper frames pop-up from Lois Bach, and for this one she's chosen to use googly eyes, so you can swap out and use googly eyes instead of the die-cut eyes on our little animal sets. For a lot of our little animals, there's actually big animals to match, so things that can be made from our Bitty Ball pop-up and our animal add-on set. And Fran's made 2 cards here using the big frog and the little frogs from both the Animal Add-ons 4 and the Bitty Ball plus the small Bayou animals. In this next card, Kelly Booth has used our flip frame pop-up, and she styled the alligator as a crocodile. I love her use of Copic shading on that and the little tiny googly eyes. And then another card from Kelly, this time using our twist panel pop-up for a birthday card. Look how she used birthday candles to make 11th, and then those cute little frogs with her signature shading. And then finally, a cute flip frame card from Sandy Diller. I love how she styled this as a Kiss Me Prince kind of card with the frog, and then she's used hearts for the mouth and then googly eyes for the eyes. The Bayou Animals die set is available now from a lot of your favorite local and online retailers, as well as from our website, KarenBurniston.com. Thanks for watching. If you click on the website link, you'll go to KarenBurniston.com, where you can purchase these dies as well as find links to our other social media accounts. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel and check out some of my other videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.